I feel it's important to ask
It's not.
where did you acquire the Uggs? I feel it's important information. Why do you have Uggs? Are you wearing Uggs right now?
My grandmother.
I see. That's understandable. Understandable. Have a nice
They
day.
don't leave the house, but they're comfy as.
Okay, what about the plasma sword lamp?
Yeah, you nerd.
That was
Nerd.
a gift from a friend of the show, Mr. Mishap.
Ben, I need to break it down for the audience. You have behind you at your current setup not one, but two fandom sci-fi series lamps of various swords
Right by one another.
right next to each other. You have a Darksaber lamp, and then you have a Halo plasma sword lamp.
All behind where you record the podcast and we use video call.
And I purchased neither of them.
I don't know
That's fair.
if that makes it better or worse.
It's also
Because
worth
that means people have figured you out so
Whoa.
much that they're getting you similar gifts. Two separate people went, hey, this is a sword from a sci-fi series and it's a lamp. I know who will like this. Ben.
Since this is apparently our intro, I also have to point out that there's a Mandalorian helmet there. There's what I think is the Kylo Ren tie Lego set.
Nah.
And is that a Lego submarine?
It's the yellow submarine.
I was about to make a yellow submarine joke, and then it became real.
Very, very real,
very real, very fast. Life comes at you fast, you know? Just.
And the other one's a Old Republic Sith Interceptor.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah, it is. Of course.
Of course, an Old Republic Sith Interceptor. Of course.
Yeah.
What else could it possibly be?
Why would I not recognize that?
Yeah.
I got Malgus.
Jay, very silly of you. How dare
Who?
Malgus.
Malgus.
Who?
Malgus.
Who?
Malgus.
Who?
Malgus.
Malgus.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, Return of the Jedi. Ben, how's your watch?
I cannot explain how painful watching Star Wars was this week.
Well, we're off to a good start. What's going on, buddy?
Start.
So my week, I had a crisis halfway through the week because my brain was like, hey, we're killing the planet, so that filled me with dread for a good 3 days. And
as it does, I understand.
The one in which Ben remembered climate change halfway through Return of the Jedi.
It wasn't even halfway. It had nothing to do with Star Wars. It was the day before I watched Star Wars, and I've been watching. I've been watching with my roommate. We didn't have a good day to sit down and watch, so we got halfway through it last night, and then I got home, and my roommate was like, "I'm gonna go do my friend's hair," and I'm like, "All right, well, I have to finish this movie." She's like, "Okay, yeah, that's fair." And then I sat down for the second half of Return of the Jedi, and my original plan was to have food to eat on the podcast to bother Jay, like I love to do. But I was so sick of the movie that I was like, I need to get up, go order food, and revisit the rest of this movie with food in my stomach. I was that sick of Star Wars, I needed to eat.
I'm sorry, Ben. This rotation is really doing it to us.
This is the rotation that came for the two of you hard. Meanwhile, I'm over here having a great time.
It is the last time that we will ever do a rotation where we literally have a corresponding number to a movie, and I think that's secretly part of the reason. Also, I've been sick for a very long time, so that's also part of it.
Wait.
And
we're about to be 10 rotations deep.
We are.
Oh, God.
3 episodes, baby.
Ben didn't need another 3 episodes, baby.
I
Ben didn't need another fucking existential
5
crisis
years
tonight.
within the past 3 days.
I'm sorry.
I feel you. Attack over here.
I feel you, Ben. I feel you deep down to my core.
I'm having a great time. What the fuck was that?
Chris, how was your watch?
My watch was great, man. I just had a fucking awesome time. All our friends were there. The Ewoks, Han Solo's trench coat. all of our friends were here. It was fine. It was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I got to see the fear in Lando's eyes again as he watched a plan unravel, just...
I'll revisit Lando again later on because I have a talking point.
I would love to.
I have a talking point.
I'm going to revisit Lando in a little bit too.
My watch was better than the last couple of watches. Pretty much every watch this rotation has been bad for me. But it also might be because I've been behind in catching up with the podcast. Like, for the last month and a half, in terms of editing, in terms of being able to watch the episodes as they come out, everything. I've been very behind. And then this week I caught up. So that might be part of it. But also, I don't know why, but I enjoyed the Tatooine segment way more than usual.
Love the Tatooine segment.
Because it was very funny to me. I'm reaching the point where things are starting to become funny again, like in a sort of morbid, I can see the puppeteer strings kind of funny.
You can see the exact moment where George turned the oxygen down,
Let's take away their food. They're still alive. Okay, great. Let's take away their water. Still going. Okay, let's turn down the oxygen level.
But yeah, it's a good watch. I mean, not a good watch. None of the watches are good, but it was fine.
The watches are great. I don't know what you're talking
about. Before we continue, we've all agreed on a thing that people will hear way before this episode comes out.
Been very excited about this all week.
I didn't even realize we started recording. I am so fucking out of it.
We're in the episode.
I asked you how your watch went.
I knew we were doing stuff, but then as soon as you said, I need to know how long the recording is going, I'm like, shit, we need to record.
No, Ben, I scrambled to start recording the second we noticed you were wearing Uggs. I knew we had an intro.
Okay, so we're going to, right now, live on the podcast, record a thing that we're going to put out near your time in real life.
Well, at least part of, because I have a feeling this segment's going to go a little long, because if there's ever been a thing that's just, sometimes the hitter just knocks it right back to the pitcher, and they just catch it. This is one of those moments.
It sounds like yours is going to be way more involved than mine. So right now, join us as we pitch to Disney. Hi, Lucasfilm Recruiting. This is the Star Wars Every Week Forever gang, your loyal subjects. We noticed that you're hiring concept people, and while we found out way later that this is actually a role for a concept artist, we had some concepts for you, and we would like to apply for that side of the job. Just like, throwing out ideas for you to use. I think we've all come here with our best. If you'd like, you can find our other concept video. You can go on YouTube and search the Downtime Darth Papa Palp Super Hour. You get about 2 hours of concepts for TV shows that you can go ahead and put up. But
we got a whole season spec scripted out for you,
Call us if you want Downtime Darth or Papa Palps. But we have a ton of just like random concepts for you that maybe you can take advantage of. Let's just do a round table. Chris, what do you got?
Okay. I got one that's a concept art thing. Just Yoda, but blue, I guess. Yoda's blue now.
I'll ping pong off of that. Yaddle Force Ghost, but young and with a mohawk and sexy.
Why do I feel like that would only come off like the sexy gremlin in the second Gremlins movie with like the wig?
What else you got, Chris?
Okay. Now bear with me on this one. a limited series where a young General Grievous leads a gang of big wheel riding outlaws. My current working title is Sons of Kali.
That's a fantastic idea. I would watch the hell out of that. Disney, that's a free W for you.
I can't. That's too good.
I have a way to pitch Darth Maul coming back for the sequel trilogy era. Except this time it's the legs that came back to life, and the upper body is just a droid that 3PO switched with in Attack of the Clones. You can throw that in anywhere you like. I feel like it would fit Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm all in on that one. Perfect. Approved. Disney, send the checks. Okay, so you remember the old show, Showtime at the Apollo? Showtime at the Cantina, hosted by Lando Calrissian, but it's Donald Glover.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that with what also is a fantastic idea. I noticed that you had trouble naming Han Solo, so I've got a name for you. His legitimate new last name can be Johnson, Han Johnson.
I really like that one. I'm a big fan of that one. Okay, and the final thing I wrote down in this fever dream I had where this all came to me. Tashi Station. It's gonna again, bear with me. It's gonna be, Tashi Station's the title. Nice little splash card. It's gonna be a Degrassi-esque drama about a group of Tatooine kids just trying to buy some power converters. Learning some lessons about life along the way.
So those are our fantastic ideas. If you want to get back to us, you don't have to hire us. We can just come in as, free agents. Maybe we'll keep pitching you some ideas. We've also got great ideas that you can find in our catalog, like Pirate Palps and My Buddy Trinto Duaba, and That's So Qui-Gon. Little Annie. Dark Side of the Star Wars. We got a ton of great ideas for you. So if you want to get in touch with us at SWEWF, Star Wars Every Week Forever at gmail.com, get in touch with us. We'd love to work with you. I think we got a job, gang.
Oh, 100%. It's easily ours. I mean, the only thing that's going to stop this is just like nepotism, just...
I missed one. I forgot to mention one. Force goes to the librarian from Attack of the Clones, but instead of being a wise teacher, she hangs around a random Imperial bathroom and acts like Moaning Myrtle.
What?
That was my last one.
Why?
Listen, I was pressed for time.
I don't know. They all came to me pretty quick. It was like an ayahuasca-induced hallucination or something. I went on like a spiritual journey.
Since we got that Disney money coming along, we better start talking about Return of the Jedi.
Don't we want to keep the Disney money coming? I don't know if that's going to happen if we start talking about Return of the Jedi right now. Ben's been having a bad rotation. I don't know if Ben's going to have anything good to say about Return of the Jedi tonight.
We got 6 weeks. We got a good 6 weeks to get the money before we fuck it up.
So
Disney's money.
That's $7.99 in the biz.
$7.99 in the biz.
So what you're fucking telling me with this fucking movie is Leia remembers her mom? Like, we have to have talked about this.
I don't know if we have, actually.
Deadass looks at Luke and goes, I was very young, but I remember. And I'm like, yeah, you were real young. A whole, 3 fucking seconds.
I feel like Leia found out that they were siblings and immediately decided she was going to do that thing that siblings do where they want to one-up each other, so that she lied.
Yeah, no, I totally remember our mom.
Yeah! She had red, blonde, green hair?
years later, Obi-Wan's Force Ghost Obi-Wan is talking to Luke about, like, Padme and Anakin, and it tells him how everything went down. He's like, that's weird. Leia said she remembered our mother, but, like, barely. Obi-Wan's just like, well, Luke, I don't know what to tell you, Luke. Your sister was full of shit.
I don't want to put... Our Obi-Wan impression, I can't figure out what celebrity it is, but it's somebody.
It's like someone's trying to do a Jeff Goldblum impression and failing horribly.
Oh God!
But really, we're just trying to do a Sir Alec Guinness and somehow making it bad Jeff Goldblum.
I'm not gonna call out your sister, Luke, but I think you should probably not take everything she says on trust.
Yeah, I think your sister was just trying to one-up you there, bud.
It's British actor pretending to be a New Yorker. That's what it is. Which means it's a fantastic impression.
Since what Obi-Wan was going for, Sir Alec Guinness was like, yes, I walked around the streets of New York City to prepare for my role of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like, but why, Sir Alec? Why would you do that?
I mean, they gave me a paid vacation, and I felt like I could probably find out a lot about space in New York City.
I prepared for my role as a desert hermit on Tatooine by spending a week in the Florida Everglades.
No, see, that would actually be interesting character study. I really
a lot of things down there, Luke. None of them good. The secrets the Jedi wouldn't teach you.
I really chalk that up to Leia's full of shit and immediately is like lying like that. Sure, I remember this thing that was very traumatic to me. Let me lie about it to make myself feel better.
I was gonna say, is it like a comfort thing for like her/Luke, or like, or is she just like, I could fuck with this guy so bad right now?
It's technically scientific fact that if you have enough trauma in your childhood, you create false memories in order to make the process better, and then you'll find out later in life they were false memories. So, apparently Leia had a rough childhood, maybe.
I mean,
halfway through saying that, yeah.
I've said this before about Leia. It's not talked about enough. She was a fucking princess.
Yeah, I feel like I dissuaded myself halfway through talking about it. She had a pretty privileged life.
Yeah. Luke's out shoveling shit in Florida, Bama. Meanwhile, fucking Leia.
Well, like, to be fair, Leia actually managed to use her privilege to, like, actually try and do some good in the galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, she did get backdoored into the Senate the same way Jar Jar Binks did, which is nepotism, but at the same time, she did use her powers for good, so obviously. I mean,
just Obi-Wan's like, yeah, I'll send Leia to be a princess, and Luke, I'll just drop him off at his Uncle Lars' house, and then I'll live in the desert for 20 years.
Obi-Wan
only to leave planet when Disney pays me enough.
Obi-Wan looking at Luke, looking at Yoda. Now, Yoda, are you sure you don't want me to stay on on Alderaan instead of Tatooine?
Yes, I feel as though that's not obvious to Darth Vader at all. That we sent his child to live with his actual blood family, or family through marriage.
I was going in a different direction. I thought Obi-Wan was looking for a cushier job.
Oh, I know. That's legit, what he's trying to explain to them. Like, no, I think Leia's in more danger here. Completely hidden,
Also, like, Obi-Wan's literally, like, I don't know what that actually is, but he seems like he's, like, a half an hour drive away from where Luke lives.
He's down in Louisiana. He's...
Like, Obi-Wan seems like he's a stone's throw away from the Lars homestead. Like, if they find one, they're gonna find the other.
Why did they split up the twins?
Because it would be too suspicious if there were two twins alive somewhere.
When Vader didn't know that he was having twins.
That's the thing. Vader didn't know he was having twins. So, like, if the dude from Alderaan just suddenly had twins, I don't think Vader would be like, wait a second.
I don't remember you having
no
twins.
More so than him randomly just having, like, a newborn daughter either. Like, it's not like Vader looked at that once and went, that checks out. But if it was two, he'd be like, that's fishy.
Do you think this is an example of Obi-Wan just, like, stream of conscious, whatever approaches him in life, the same way he does most things, of just like, oh, split up the kids, yeah, sure. Oh, you live on Alderaan, sure, whatever.
Yeah, you go be a princess, and you go be a moisture farmer on a desert planet.
Oh, wait, it's not even totally Obi-Wan's fault, because, like...
It is Yoda.
Bale's sitting there, he's like, me and my wife always wanted to adopt a daughter. And Obi-Wan's like, what about the other one, Bale?
If I go look at Hish's Revenge of the Sith, how it should have ended, is this exact scene in it? Because I feel like it would be. Just like,
I feel like it would.
I feel like it would be. Just like, I've always wanted a daughter, and then Yoda going, terrible risk you're asking us to take.
I wonder if it was like the Force ghost of Qui-Gon just in Obi-Wan's ear, like, yes, Obi-Wan, just separate them, it'll be funny later on, you know. Maybe they'll kiss or something, it'll be really funny when they find out.
Really
funny. Yoda, why? Luke talking to Yoda, just like, why did you split us up? And Yoda like, did it for the bit, I did. Kiss your sister, you did.
To try and bring this full circle, I wonder if Leia started going, oh yeah, I remember our mother, because she thinks Luke's trying to, like, let her down easy, and all he could come up with is, you're my sister. She's like, oh, yeah, my mother.
By the time that, we get to Force Awakens and Leia's just continuing the bit for 30 years. Just like, yeah, my brother over there.
Yeah, I stopped the Jedi training because I thought I could do better things, not because I wasn't Force sensitive.
Just been yes-anding the whole thing this whole time.
Got so deep in the lie, she had to just carry it through the rest of her life.
I also like how every character in this movie, like, gestures at them being siblings the vaguest possible way, and every time it's brought up, they're like, oh yeah, my sister. Like Obi-Wan's just like, you have a sister, and Luke's like, it's Leia. And Obi-Wan's just like, yeah, kiddo?
Yeah. I don't know, Luke. It sure seems like that was resting pretty high on your conscience, as if maybe really, if you're blaming me for you accidentally kissing your sister, it seems like you might have been to blame if you had this gut feeling that something was wrong.
Luke, let me get this straight. You said you had a gut feeling and then you kissed your sister. Well, she kissed me, Obi-Wan. That doesn't sound like an excuse to me, Luke.
She also said she knew the whole time, Luke, so...
So Luke, if we're being
whose
honest
fault
with
is this really?
Luke, if we're being honest with ourselves, the whole situation's starting to feel a bit Freudian. We're just...
We've hit the Freud milestone.
I don't even remember what the fuck we were talking about that led to this. However the hell long this has been happening.
You think I remember how conversations go on the podcast?
It's like I go into a fugue state and I blink and it's been 10 minutes since last I looked at the recording timer. I'm like, oh god, what happened? What have we done?
I just lost an hour of my life.
I do remember one thing, which is we wanted to talk about Lando Calrissian.
Only man. I love that idea so much about Lando hosting Showtime at the Cantina.
Was that the thing you were referring to?
It's just like Luke bursts into Jabba's palace and like the lights are real low and there's Lando up on the stage.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and look, it's a special guest of the evening, Luke Skywalker. Looks like Lando. What the fuck? You've been here for a week, man. What the hell's going on?
Welcome to Tatooine, Luke. You haven't been here in a while. Would you like to enter the gun raffle? Real thing that happens in rural areas. Real thing.
Yeah.
I actually have been reflecting on this for a while, but it finally bubbled to the surface. Actually, I shouldn't say that. At some point in the last rotation, I made a section of my Google Doc for episode 6 and just wrote this down. So at some point it came to mind, and I just felt like Return of the Jedi was the right place. Spoiler for later, Ben saw my notes for this week. Part of them, anyway. Lando sure does a lot for Luke when he's had maybe one stream of conscious conversation with him. Lando takes a lot over the course of their 30-year friendship. Lando does a lot for Luke when they barely know each other.
Lando is the fucking best, all right? Lando is just ride or die, except for when he sells you and gets you put in carbonite.
Lando's really ride or die up until the point where he has the option to do literally anything to sell you out.
Well, he's a pretty reasonable guy until given literally any reason not to be.
Like, he was going to sell Han Solo away.
I mean, he did. He successfully did that.
He did successfully do that.
I wonder if that was all just deep-seated spite.
Oh,
Han
absolutely.
Getting the Millennium Falcon.
I don't think that's a question.
That's really speculative.
I think that's just what happened. But specifically his loyalty, like, he'll sell Han Solo for a scrap of bread, but he'll go deep undercover for Luke Skywalker twice in his lifetime at least.
Once, twice at the most.
It's a good point. It really does just speak to how unlikable Han Solo is as a person, I think.
Han, you're my great buddy, but I would if somebody gave me the right chocolate covered pretzel, I would sell you like it was nothing. But Luke Skywalker over there, he seems like a right sort. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself through the emotional turmoil of interjecting myself in Jabba the Hutt's palace and creating a bunch of friends and having to help out the owner of a Rancor after he mourns the death of his pet, in order to get him just barely any information at all. See, Han, I hate your fucking guts, but Luke Skywalker, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Salt of the earth.
See, Han, I didn't even know you died, and I don't particularly care. I've been on this desert planet for so fucking long that really nothing gets to me at all. Oh, Luke's dead? Oh, I have to go cry. I really like that Luke Skywalker. That Luke Skywalker was a right source. No, I've never had a conversation with him, but he seemed great.
Never talked to him a day in my life. Except for when he was asking me to go deep undercover 2 times.
I just get feelings about people. And I have a pretty good feeling about Luke Skywalker. Han Solo, I hear, is your name even Han Solo? I hear it's Han Johnson. I can't trust a man named Han Johnson. Which brings me to my other note.
Is it about Lando or Han Johnson?
This is about Ben.
Oh.
Ben, what are you doing tomorrow?
This is the note I thought was coming up.
Oh, no.
Because so hold on. Ben told me this fact that's about to come up, and I immediately sent him a picture of my notes to know that he was going to get harassed today.
Anyone who knows me well knows I love board gaming as a hobby.
It's a great hobby.
I have I love war games because I'm a 20-something white dude.
I thought you weren't a fan of wrestling, Ben.
War games.
Too long to explain.
Yeah, keep going.
So, friend of the show,
Redacted,
and I were talking this week, and he goes, "Yeah, I just really want to play Rebellion this weekend because it's just gonna be you and me around." So
okay, hold on, but you're misrepresenting the situation right now. Though.
How is that? That's what happened.
No, you made the suggestion, and then friend of the show Redacted was like, "Yeah, I'd love to play Rebellion."
Other way around.
The Star Wars game.
Other
no,
way around.
Sir.
Other
The
way
day
around.
before
Because
you
I
made
said
the
nobody's
suggestion.
around, and then he goes, "Oh, well, you and I can play Rebellion. I can pull up the receipts right now."
Ben did indeed have receipts to fit his claim, and therefore I will eat crow. The long and short of this conversation is that Ben's going to be playing a 6 to 8 hour Star Wars game tomorrow night.
I am going to be playing a 6 to 8 hour Star Wars game
6 to 8 hours? Why?
It's a war game.
And it takes a long time.
Hey, listen, Jay, can we talk? We're going to play a 6 to 8 hour Pathfinder game tomorrow.
Well, here's the thing. Pathfinder isn't Star Wars, the podcast that we do every week that we devote a lot of our time to.
Yeah. Well, Ben's just proving more and more how much he loves Star Wars and his devotion. Disney, give us money.
Give us money, Disney. We can. I'm telling you, we'll work for you. You don't even have to hire us. I know you want some of these fantastic ideas, like I got something somewhere in there that I can throw out.
Lost, but in Star Wars. We bring back J.J. Abrams.
Lost, but in Star Wars, J.J. Abrams pitches it, but instead of it being like a full show, it's like one episode, and it's just Charlie from Lost from Star Wars. And he dies the exact same way, but it's just him and 17 other people that look exactly like him.
My brain's been through a lot tonight, and it's not. I don't know how to. It doesn't know how to cope. Jay and I, or Jay, you're not Jay. You're Chris. Jay's over here. Chris and I are mentally in the same space right now. Where it's just like,
I don't think you and I are on the same astral plane at the moment.
And I don't know how to feel about
it. No, I think, Ben, if we're talking about the mentally exhausted people, it's you and me, not you and Chris.
Having a great time.
Chris is having a great time. You and I are broken.
You're right. We are broken people.
Having a fucking blast. I'm really into Star Wars right now. Book of Boba Fett. The 2 episodes after the first episode have been very good.
I wasn't too crazy about the 3rd episode. It just hit weird. It wasn't bad. I didn't dislike. I had very much a similar feeling to the first episode, where it's I didn't dislike it, but it didn't really do much for me. I was like, oh boy, the Power Rangers exist in Star Wars now.
Whoa, okay, but can we talk about this for a second? Because I have not watched it, but this was a talking point.
Yeah.
This was a talking point this week.
Yeah.
Somebody on Twitter put out a picture of these very clearly 60s biker gang inspired characters from Book of Boba Fett.
It looks like they're riding fucking Vespas.
They are a Vespa gang, essentially.
They took a picture of this and sent it out and said, there's not a single lick of Star Wars in this image. And the entire reply thread and all of the quote tweets are just people dunking on this person.
It is Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's very
Star Wars.
It's very Star Wars. It just feels very strange having crisp-looking Vespas in the middle of Mos Espa.
It's like they're a cyberpunk Vespa gang with Vespas inspired by the 1950s cars and jukebox aesthetic.
You mean inspired by the first movie that George Lucas ever made, which was a 60s diner, drive-in movie theater style thing. If it's not Star Wars, if that's not your definition of Star Wars, okay. But it's very George Lucas, and that's clearly what they were trying to do. So I just quote tweeted it with a picture of Dexter Jester chuckling.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah. I was a little active on our Twitter this week for one day, a couple of hours. I think I made
I am with our TikTok.
I think I made a poem about Obi-Wan's omniscience at some point when I saw the Revenge of the Sith quote, and then there was some kind of tweet thread about the best and worst scenes in Star Wars. I put up the dinner scene and the dinner scene.
I saw that.
I would like to go back to Tatooine for a little bit, unless Ben has a point. Ben, do you have something you want to talk
about? I forgot I was the one who brought something up. I don't know. Nah, you're good.
First of all, I feel like somewhere I always thought that maybe Luke was the person nicest to droids. No, that motherfucker's a nasty asshole.
Oh, he's a dick.
Oh yeah, he's an asshole.
He's a gaslighting fucking prick. This fucking guy only talks
to sack of person.
The sack of person. I've heard him use that phrase many times.
I love that phrase.
This sack of person is only nice to those droids when he needs something out of them.
And sometimes literally, like selling them with. That one shut Ben down for a second.
That hit me a certain kind of way that I was not anticipating.
Listen, neither were any of the dudes on that sandbar journey. It was the craziest shit they'd ever seen, I guarantee it.
R2-D2, not R2-D2, because R2-D2 knows what's going. What is it about these people that send R2-D2 and C-3PO into life and death situations, but only tell R2-D2 what's going on?
I mean, I get it.
No, see, I don't get it. Because I don't think R2-D2 mouths off any less. I just think that, as luck would have it, most people don't speak R2-D2's dialect.
Most people just don't understand R2-D2 when R2-D2 mouths off at them.
Which, by the way, these movies are way better if you just imagine R2-D2 cursing the entire time. I did that this watch.
Ever done.
I did that this watch, and it was way more entertaining. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the other big laugh I got. I laughed at the entire laugh. You know what our definition of laugh is at this point. But the entire Sandcrawler scene was really funny to me. Specifically, every couple of rotations, the ridiculousness of the air horn lead into the music for that. Like the way they transition so that you're focusing on someone's face whenever an horn hits, that got me. That got an audible laugh out of me this time. I've brought it up before, but every time it just hits me.
Listen, it's the little things. Sometimes you just gotta enjoy the little things.
It's like top 5 favorite scenes, like at this point. Just like
that's high ranking.
It's a high ranking, while I don't really rank them based off of any common logic anymore. It's just like, what makes me chuckle? Oh, dinner scene? Okay. Oh, horns on the Sandcrawler? Yes. Horns. Also, that entire scene got me this time because it has no running tone to it. It's really haphazard. Like, you have
like the whole plan to get Han out of Jabba's castle was.
It's like you got Harrison Ford and Lando Calrissian, Han Solo and Lando Calrissian doing a comedy bit at the expense of Boba Fett, and then you've got Luke Skywalker having a semi-serious lightsaber duel, except his lightsaber is a baseball bat. So like, comedy on the crawler, terrible action on the crawler itself, the barge. And then you've got Leia choking a Hutt to death.
It's the most cold-blooded fucking move in Star Wars.
I don't know. It's either that or Kylo taking his lightsaber up Finn's spine. It's one of those two. That's up there. Yeah.
I want to know what the reaction was when George was like going through the script of this movie and like giving people like, little snippets of what's going on, and it's like, yeah, that really cool character we set up, Boba Fett, the bounty hunter with the armor and stuff, and we're gonna kill him off.
I don't think anybody blinked twice. I don't think they knew how much that character was thought of until after.
It's reminiscent of like the George R.R. Martin school of thought of just like, oh, we have to subvert expectations and just, oh, you don't expect it to happen, so boom, he's dead.
I want a live reaction to how George Lucas reacted when he found out that Book of Boba Fett was being made. That's what I want.
It's just like, these nerds can't stop bringing Boba Fett back to life.
I just want... He wouldn't get angry because George Lucas doesn't get angry in the same way an average individual gets angry. But it very clearly would be like that. These fucking nerds can't leave well enough alone type of energy.
I mean, to be fair, George wanted to bring Darth Maul back.
Yeah, but that's his baby. George Lucas did not care about Boba
Listen,
Fett.
Yeah.
To George Lucas, if the idea came from George Lucas, there's no such thing as a stupid idea, all right?
Well, because what was it? Originally, Boba Fett was gonna be like this, like, just elite stormtrooper, but then they didn't have the budget to produce more Boba Fett costumes, so they just fucking painted it and made it a character.
Well, yeah, because I think we forget pretty often that Boba Fett was haphazardly made for the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah.
I feel like we forget that sometimes, that Boba Fett was like a concept on George's desk, and they came to him and they're like, we need, and he's like, oh, fucking no, here.
Here, take this fucking thing, I don't know.
What's his name?
Fucking what's his butts?
There's a boba tea sitting in the corner, and then there's just like...
My roommate made that joke for like half the movie we watched together.
And then there's like fettuccine on his desk, and he's like, Boba Fett. Okay, that's a great name.
No, I guarantee it. No, you want to go with that analogy. It was Boba Fettuccine, and a producer went, how about Fett? And he went, deal.
No,
get out of my fucking office.
He probably said Boba Fettuccine, and they were like, how about Boba Fett? And he was like, no. And then the next day he came to the office and called up the Star Wars
He called us.
He called us. George Lucas called us. He called the Christmas special people. It was like, I got a counter offer for you, Boba Fett. Because that seems the way he.
Yeah, they're like, George,
it's a great idea.
We literally told you, and you just, hey Dave, get off the phone. It's a great idea. Just roll with it.
We got our way.
Dave, I promise you, it's a great name.
George, taking the W, goddammit.
There is such a fucking wasted Chekhov's gun moment in this movie. When goddamn Han Solo's like, oh, I just get the feeling I'm never gonna see the Millennium Falcon ever again.
It's not.
And straight up, they do the battle, everyone gets back, and Han's like, yay, my boat. And.
Hold on. No. That's incorrect. We never see Han Solo with the Millennium Falcon again in this movie.
But both continuities, well, I can't say that anymore. I'm mad.
You're mad that I made a great canonical point.
I am. I'm mad that Jay pulled one out of the gutter for current canon.
I blame one person and one person alone, and that's J.J. Abrams, who could have legitimately put one line into. No, I don't want you. Go away.
George?
Major emergency.
George is calling. Apparently George didn't. Do you think George was calling in to also enjoy the dunking on J.J. Abrams? Is that what was about to happen?
Listen, fuck that nerd, J.J., alright?
Holy shit.
Because it would have been so easy for J.J. to just have Han say a line, yeah, this thing's been missing for 30 years and it was on Jakku the entire time.
Seen this ship in 30 years.
It would have been so easy. They literally went to all of the effort to strategically look at the chessboard from The Force Awakens to make sure that when they started it up as a gag, it would start in the same place. But he couldn't be like, I haven't seen this ship in 30 years. He couldn't do that. I blame you, JJ. You had a great idea, and now you fucked it. You fucked it.
That's kind of how I feel about Lost.
That's how I feel about a lot of J.J. Abrams' work, meaning all. Actually, that implies that he has more than a few great ideas. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, actually it goes along with Ben's point from earlier, which is just basic shit that we've never actually talked about on the podcast because it's basic shit, and now we're on the 9th rotation, so let's grab the low-hanging fruit. The Foley work that they put over Palpatine when the lightsabers cross in front of him is truly terrible in a really incredible way. Everybody's looking at me like this is not as common a thing as I think it is. So,
I don't think I've ever noticed anything with it. It always looked fine to me, but I also never really paid attention.
Luke and Vader's lightsabers cross in front of Palpatine when the duel starts, right? And Palpatine's in like a neutral expression. Like his mouth is just a little bit open and he's just watching the camera. And they put like a full like chest rattling laugh over it. But Palpatine looks like this. I just did a visual gag for the podcast, but it's like
isn't his mouth like wide open though?
No, it is not.
Am I like?
It is not.
My brain.
It's like it's just a little bit open. It's like barely open.
I always thought it was a big old fucking.
Listen, he was using the Force to throw his voice like a ventriloquist. Palpatine would often do that in the halls of the Death Star. He would just ventriloquist dummy Vader.
Yes. And now for my next trick in this mandated stormtrooper fun activity is Papa Palps' puppet show. Yes.
Papa Palps puppet show.
I need a few volunteers, and I need you to sign some waivers for me. Don't read them. Just sign the waivers. All right, you've written your life over to me. Let's get the show started.
This is like, yes, Lord Vader. You didn't know I could throw my voice like a ventriloquist with the Force. Watch, I can do it from a distance. Gary's about to say something very racy in the break room.
Oh, God.
You see like a crowd of disgusted stormtroopers walking out like, come on, Gary. Guys, it wasn't me. Yes. Yes, fuck Gary.
Why do we keep bringing Gary back from the dead?
This was before Gary died. No, we killed Larry. Time. We killed Larry. Gary's alive.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go back and find out now.
I'm pretty sure it was Gary.
I think it was Gary.
No, I think Larry was Vader killing Larry.
You're right. Actually, I think you're right. I'm going to have to do a lot of digging to figure this out now.
Burned into my brain, Jay.
Well,
I'm killing Larry.
We figure it out.
I'm lashing out emotionally. Will let someone look at me? I'm killing Larry. I'm killing Larry. Does no one see me killing Larry because he asked about my wife, Pat? You're right.
Until we figure it out, we've always got Harry.
No.
Jerry
works.
Barry.
What's the deal with getting murdered by Palpatine? What's the deal with getting contacted by HR because Palpatine was practicing his ventriloquism?
Stop.
Now I can't work
all right,
everywhere.
Yeah, settle down. I don't think the crowd likes that, buddy. All right, anyway, next up on Showtime at the Canteen. Ushers Star Wars Jerry Seinfeld off the stage.
Enemy of the show, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld, you be in a man suit. We all know the truth, Jerry. What are you trying to hide?
In a man suit.
No, I don't like jazz. Fuck out of here.
It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
I had to remind my roommate this week that in Star Wars, jazz is actually called jizz. And
my favorite fun
fact. I feel like they didn't appreciate it the same way I do.
We've brought this up on the podcast many times, and it's because we all love it so much.
It's so good.
It's the most
another useless world building I've ever seen, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Every few months, this exact thing goes viral, and it makes me very happy. The more people that know that jazz is called jizz in Star Wars, the better.
Weird. Wikipedia.
It's a little late into the bit to be putting a weird intro on it.
Oh no! Wait. Okay, Ben, don't put this in the Halo Discord. What fucking movie are we? I was glancing the Halo Infinite Discord. Today
Why?
Because I have ADHD, Jay.
We're recording.
So today on Weird Wikipedia we have Forklift.
Lord Vader, do you have your forklift operator permit?
Lord Vader, I really cannot be contacted by OSHA again. We've gone over this several times.
Lord Vader, OSHA's really riding my ass.
Lord Vader, there's this man called Kevin Smith, and I can't afford to upset him.
A forklift was a vehicle used for lifting heavy material. They were generally automated. That is all 2 sentences.
Lord Vader.
But is that the Legends or the Canon tab?
That's the Legends tab.
What's the Canon tab say?
Holy shit, it's like half a paragraph. Forklifts were vehicle used for lifting heavy materials and could also be used for ships. They were found throughout the galaxy in industrial complexes and hangars such as Gorel. The Mon Calamari starship designer Quirrell owned one on the planet Shantipole.
Shantipole. Hey, it's Jay here from the Star Wars Every Week Forever editing office. Usually when we miss a detail, I'll just let it go. Obviously, I would rather have everyone here to record and, you know, kind of bounce off of each other. But I found a really weird detail that I felt the need to share, even in post here. And it's when you switch between the Canon and Legends tab on this, forklift is spelled differently on each. Like, the Canon one is fork space lift, and the Legends one is just forklift as one word. And I'd really love to know what inspired that decision. Like, is it canon? Like, is that, like, canonically the way it's handled? Like, or is that some kind of weird mistake? Like, what would be the lore reasons why forklift and forklift would be different in each version of the canon? That's all I had to say. I just had to point it out. Back to the episode.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. There was a forklift in Star Wars Rebels.
What an inspired.
Oh, and they
and
also
Bad
showed
Batch
up in
and Clone Wars
and Resistance and Poe Dameron
Listen.
and Rule 1.
There's been a forklift in every Star Wars Dave Filoni animated show.
Dave Filoni, we need to have a conversation.
Dave, what's the deal with forklifts? What's the deal?
What's the deal? Okay. What's the deal with you and forklifts? Yo, Dave, why was your number one goal when you started making Star Wars content to make sure you made the forklift as used an item as possible,
as visible as humanly possible in this space sci-fi franchise?
This episode is going to be used in our collective psych evaluation, I feel.
I feel like this episode is our psych eval.
I'm just gonna when I get a new therapist, I'm just gonna bring this episode in. Just listen, if you need any homework for me, just here, watch this.
I respect my therapist too much to show her this. And I respect my therapist too much to ever let her know that this is a thing I do.
Listen, I respect any therapist I've ever had very greatly. They will know all of my deepest, darkest secrets, including this fucking podcast.
God,
I've had some bad therapists that I would definitely inflict this on.
God help me if I do find a therapist. Because, one, we all know I could use it. And two, when they find out about this, they are going to worry, and rightfully so. Alright. I feel like I've reached the proper level of unhinged.
Alright, Ben has just decided episode record that it's time. That's a wrap.
Man.
Send it home.
That's how done Ben is. I think that's the first time Ben's just completely been like, nope, man, we're going to, it's done, it's over.
I forget the name of our assistant. What is the name of our assistant that we decided on?
Wasn't that Gary?
Why are we so obsessed with the name Gary? Gary, I need you to get Ben a latte.
Gary, cut the feed.
Gary?
Ben and I have done this exact fucking bit before with Gary.
This has been Star Wars every week forever. Good night. Gary, cut the entire episode.
Gary, just throw that one in the bin.
Just throw that one in the bin.
Except for our job application. We need that.
Except for our job application. We need our job application. Hey, if you enjoyed us, thought we were funny, like our content, or just really love our suffering and want to hear more of it, we're available all over the place and release episodes every Wednesday around 12 Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Player FM, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and in a unique format over on YouTube that our fans seem to dig. You can join in on the conversation over on Twitter as well, at SWEWF. We're quite active and love to hear from our fans. Sincerely, though, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend with us on this car crash of a ride.